Okay, so exciting news. The ray tracing RTX version of the Render96 project for Super Mario 64 is finally available to the public as of about 8 hours ago. Big thanks to Darío and the Render96 team for this release. A lot of us have been waiting a while for it. It's super exciting. I've tried it myself and it's worth the wait. So yeah, the point of this video is to provide a visual guide to help out those who want to compile it for themselves but maybe aren't confident enough to try it without a visual guide. It's actually super simple. It's as simple, if not more, than using the Builder 2 application, so don't worry about it. We'll get through it and you'll get your game at the end of it. I'll just note here before we start, I'm not a YouTuber or anything like that, and I'm reading from a script, so if I seem a little stiff or stumble with my words, you know, forgive me for that. Also, this is going to be like a one-take thing, hopefully. I say that, I've tried this several times and I've not gone through it yet, so if I get through it this time, that'll be great. Yeah, so let's get into it. So the first thing we want to do is come to the Render96 Discord, which hopefully you're a part of already. And on this announcement tabs, we've got the announcement for the Render96 RTX Alpha. The only thing we'll need here is the model pack. So just download the models here. We want the Alpha 3.0 version RTX. Save the file and put it somewhere safe. I've already got it downloaded in my safe folder here. Yeah, we'll be using Git to get the rest of the files, Git being the thing to download things from GitHub. Yeah, if you also want the HD textures, which presumably you will do, click on the download tabs and come here, and then there isn't like a download here, so you'll have to download the zip from the code thing, and the same thing with that. Just put it in your safe folder. Yeah, from here on, we'll mostly be following the guide. So if you want to see the guide, you go to the How to Compile tab, click on Render96, and then go down to Windows. There's also one for Linux, but if you're using Linux, then let's be real, you probably aren't watching this video, and you probably aren't even reading that guide because you'll just know how to do it because you're a pro. Yeah. So big thanks to FGS, DorfDork and Render96 team for making this guide, because I certainly wouldn't have known how to do it myself. Yeah, so all we'll be doing here is following the guide. So the first thing you want to do is download and install MySys2 here, and I've got it here. MySys2 is a command line shell, and the command line shell allows us to interface with some of the other software that we'll be using to install it, like Ming W. So install it and wait for it to install. It takes a few minutes. You can leave everything as default, by the way. It should work just without any issues. It should be just fine. And it, by default, it installs to the root of your C drive. So yeah, down here, MySys. There we go. So you want to untick this Run MySys2 because we'll actually be using a program called Ming W. 64. So click through that, and then the first thing we'll want to do, as of the guide, is, sorry, this window's a bit small, isn't it? Tell you what we can do. We can, yeah, shove that over. There we go. That's a bit more readable. There we are. So the first thing we'll want to install is the package manager. So Pac-Man, as it's called, which is kind of funny. So you'll want to copy and paste this thing here, which will install Pac-Man, and press yes, or uppercase Y, and let it go. Oh, right, okay, so if it does this to you, all you want to do is press yes and then reopen Ming once you've done that. So we'll go back into MySys, reopen Ming, and yeah, you want to run the same thing again. Okay, apparently I need to recopy it. There we go. So rerun this a second time, and press yes, and after this one it should be fine. There we go, so package manager is installed. Next we'll want to do this one here. This will install all the other software that we need. So that includes unzip, which is for obviously unzipping files. There's the make, which will actually like follow the commands for the make file that we'll download with the actual game files later on. Git we'll use to download the game files, and then mingw64, GCC and all this stuff is all compiler stuff. So this is for like C++ and all sorts of stuff, and then there's Python there as well, because you know anything you do in the command line needs Python. So yeah, simply run it, and it'll take a little while because it's downloading quite a few things. Now the guide here says you have to download Git, but obviously we've just downloaded it here, so you don't need to do that. It should just work. Speaking of which, we will now run. Now, if we look at this command here, we'll do a bit of a detour here actually. You'll see at the end, it's got git clone, which clone is just like make a clone of the files. And here's the project, and I don't know what the B's for. I think branch maybe. And then at the end is here, alpha. So this is important because we don't want to download alpha. If we come to, yes, there we go. So if we come here, you can see there are these different branches on the tree, and they're just like the different versions of the game. So the master is like the stable version, I guess, and then there's an alpha and a fast build and all this sort of stuff. So the one we want is tester RT64 alpha, which is the one with ray tracing. So what we do is we change this alpha here to over here RT tester underscore RT64 alpha, and that'll download the right files. Again, you know, this video is being made on the 15th of May 2021, so maybe it's on a different branch, so you'll just have to look and see which branch you actually want to download, but this will work for whatever branch. So yeah, simply run this command here, but with RT tester underscore RT64 alpha on it. Now I'll say here, this is downloading it to. So if you go into your MySys folder, there's home, and then there should be your username here, and then it's downloading it here to Render96EX, but it won't actually, it'll be empty. It won't actually extract everything until it's fully downloaded, but that is where we'll be working from. If you've got a faster internet than me, that should take not quite as long. So yeah, so we'll want to then do cd Render96EX. And that'll just change the directory to the Render96 directory. And we'll do the same here in the File Explorer. And what we'll want to do now is those models that we downloaded earlier. We want to open those and copy over the actors into the actors and overwrite if we need to overwrite. And these are just the latest high quality models. Support ray tracing and all that sort of stuff. Next is now this file here. you probably know what this file here is, but I'm not going to tell you what it is. But you need to get it. So yeah, just copy it over. If you don't have a Z64 and have an N64 instead, you'll need to use this address here that should be in the guide. Yeah. So go down here, use the swept tool, and then transform that into a Z64 instead of a regular N64 file. Lastly, all we need to do is run the make command. So the make command isn't just this one. That's basically telling Ming to actually compile the thing. We want to go over here and use this command here. So make underscore API. Sorry, make render underscore API RT64. And that's just telling it to use the ray tracing render. So we simply paste that here and run it. And if it's doing this and not giving you an error, that's probably a good sign. So yeah, just wait for it to render. And once it's finished, it should be inside a build folder, which should appear at some point. Okay, you can see the build folder just popped up here. And we'll just wait for it to finish. There we are. Right, so that should be done now. So if we go into build, you've got this folder here, USPC, and then here you go. You get rid of that. So sorry about the cut there. We were having some issues with Mario being extremely loud, and I didn't want to subject you to that. So yes, here we are. Finally, we've got the game compiled. All we need to do now is open up the HD texture pack, and we've got the graphics folder here. We'll just copy that into the res folder here, and overwrite. Yeah, 1677 textures. That must have taken a while to make. Yep, and then just run the game. What it's doing here is it's by default set to pre-compiling the textures, like a lot of like Seamew and Dolphin, and it just does that to reduce stuttering in the game.
It's me,
So, yeah.
Mario.
If you've got a graphics card that can do ray tracing, then
Okie dokie.
it probably won't take too long to load up. And there we go. You've got your game. I'll get rid of the mouse cursor.
Yahoo!
And it's all running and working and all that sort of stuff. So yeah. Hopefully this guide was helpful or informative. If you've got any questions, ask them in the comments, and I'll do my best to answer them. Yeah, thanks for watching.